Hi everybody, I'm Jennifer and today I'm going to be showing you how to make an almond bundt cake. This recipe is really good to take to parties on New Year's because it is a New Year's tradition to make an almond bundt cake. Anyways, what's really special about this recipe is that it has one whole almond in the cake. And whoever gets that piece with that whole almond is going to have a lucky, blessed year. So I'm going to go ahead and begin. We're going to start with taking 1.5 sticks of butter. We're gonna go ahead and set this butter to the side that we don't use right now for later. And then we're gonna go ahead and add 1.5 cups of sugar. We're just gonna cream this together. It's good to start with softened butter too. And I add salt, butter, because the flavor just pops. What's important with this recipe is blending for a good 3 to 4 minutes. Now that we've got a good 3 to 4 minutes of creaming together, you want to have this kind of consistency. Really important to cream it together properly. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and add, what I like to add is I like to add yogurt and sour cream to make it extra moist. Almond cakes typically are very dry, but not this one. So on the, this one's gonna be the yogurt, and I like to add about, let me take a quick look at my notes. Sorry guys, can't remember everything. So on the yogurt, I add 2/4 cup. So 2/4 cup to the batter. And then I like to add the sour cream, and the sour cream is gonna be 1/4 cup of sour cream to the batter. And then along with that, I like to add the vanilla paste. So on the vanilla paste, it's not too much. It's gonna just be about 1 teaspoon of vanilla paste to the batter. Gotta go ahead and get a good dollop of that, plop it in here, and then we're gonna go ahead and cream all of this together one more time. Okay, now that we have that creamed together, I'm gonna add the most important part. That's gonna be the almond flavor. You can't have a almond bundt cake without the almond. So on the almond, this is about 2.25 teaspoons of almond, but you know, it's your discretion. You have to pick how much almond you like in your cake. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mix that in as well. Okay, now that we have that mixed well, we're gonna set the wet mixture over to the side, and we're gonna start on our dry ingredients. So in the dry ingredients, we have let me take one more look at my notes. Can't remember everything. So I have 2.5 cups of flour here, and I'm also going to have the baking soda. And on the baking soda, I determined that I needed about 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda for this recipe. And on the salt, it's just 1 teaspoon of salt. I like to use pink Himalayan salt. It's pretty much the best. So on that one, you're just going to give it a good little stir here. And what I like to add to the dry ingredients is a vanilla powder. And not all stores sell the vanilla powder, so if you don't have the vanilla powder, don't worry about it. You'll have enough vanilla from the vanilla paste, but I just like to go ahead and add a little pinch of the vanilla powder here. It's vanilla bean powder. Go ahead and mix this all up. Okay, we're gonna set this to the side over here. And now we're going to separate our eggs. What's important with our eggs is that we have to separate them. So we're gonna add our wet ingredients back. So we're going to have 4 eggs. What we're gonna do is we're gonna drop the yolk in the batter. Drop the yolk in the batter, not in yourself. And then we're going to add the egg whites to this bowl here, and we're gonna blend that up. Okay, and then we're gonna do egg number 2. Remember, we're going to do the egg white separate. This is how I like to separate my eggs. And then we're gonna go ahead and add the yolk into the batter. It's egg number 3, and we're going to do egg number 4 here. This pesky egg, right? Just wipe a little bit of egg off, and then we're gonna go ahead and cream together. Actually, we're gonna cream together this part first. Okay, now it's time to froth your egg whites. This step in the recipe is really important because separating your eggs and frothing your egg whites really adds a lot of fluffiness to your cake. So I just go ahead and dump the egg whites froth into the mixture, and I don't mix it, I just go ahead and I fold it together. Just gonna fold that in. It's got a very liquidy consistency right now, but it won't be that way for long. Okay, so that's pretty much halfway mixed up in there, and that's okay. You don't need to get it all the way. We're going to add our dry ingredients to the wet ingredients now. So in your dry ingredients here, just gonna slowly add this in. We're gonna add about half of this in right now. I'm gonna just mix that up a little bit in here. Go ahead and fold this in. Fold it in so all the dry ingredients are pretty much wet. Let me tell you, it smells amazing. So that's pretty much mixed up, and we're going to add another liquid. So we're going to take about, this is about, I would say it's buttermilk, and we're gonna add, gotta look at my recipe, a 3/4 cup of buttermilk. So 3/4 cup of buttermilk, and here's my little trick. I really love the amaretto flavor so much. This is probably one of my favorite coffee creamers. So I like to add a little bit of this to the mixture too. And on this, you're gonna add about 1/4 of a cup of amaretto creamer. And if you don't have this one at home, no worries. You can just use amaretto flavoring, amaretto liqueur, whatever you have. So I'm gonna get about 1/4 of a cup, and I actually love the flavor of this so much, so I might add a little more. Here's that 1/4 cup, and like I said, I love this, so I'm just gonna add a teensy bit more of this in here. Okay, let's go ahead and give this a stir. Stir that up. Grab our wet ingredients all over again, and we're gonna add our buttermilk solution to the wet going to add the rest of our dry ingredients, and we're going to use the mixer to blend it all up. Okay, your batter should look something like this. Now we need to add it to our bundt pan, and hopefully your ovens are preheated to 350. So I've already floured my bundt pan. I like to flour my bundt pan, even though this is non-stick, because you can never trust if it's gonna stick or not. And I would hate to have my bundt cake stick to the bundt pan. So I'm gonna go ahead and put all of my mixture into the bundt pan. Now this is where you need to have some talent. You gotta balance two bowls. Or you gotta balance this bowl and rotate the other one. But I like to do this in segments. So I like to just do a little dollop in one section, twist the bowl, do another dollop. Don't worry, it'll all even out eventually. Like everything else, right? Go ahead and scrape all of the ingredients out of the bowl. Unless you like licking the bowl, then go ahead and save some. Now go ahead and even out your batter. Up here. And I like to make too much of a mess, can we? I like to just sort of bang the recipe to take out the air bubbles really briefly. So just doing that one time works really well. And remember our whole almond, we need to add this into the cake. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stick it right here. That lucky person will have that almond. So then we're gonna go ahead and bake this for about 38 to 42 minutes in the oven at 350. While your cake is in the oven, it's a great time to make your glaze. So for your glaze, I have 2 cups of powdered sugar, and I have 1/4 to a half a cup of salted melted butter. And then I have 2 teaspoons of almond extract. And I like to add a pinch more of the vanilla powder. I really think this blends so well with the almond. And then I have a 1/4 cup of almond milk. Just go ahead and gently mix that up. And then if you find that the batter is too liquidy, you can always add more powdered sugar, or if it's not liquidy enough, you can add more almond milk. And you don't have to use almond milk. You could use heavy whipping cream, regular milk. You could even use the amaretto creamer for that matter. I'm gonna mix this up here, and if I see that I need some more liquid, I will add some of that amaretto creamer to this to just give it that pop of amaretto almond flavor. This is looking really, really good and it smells amazing. So I don't think I'm gonna need any more liquids to this. This is a perfect amount. Just go ahead and let all of that sugar dissolve into that butter. That's what everybody likes, right? Sugar and butter. Wow, this is looking so good. Let me go ahead and show you guys what it looks like. It's a really good glaze. Perfect. Now, for the glaze, what's important is the topping. So on the toppings is the almond slices. And remember what I said, if the person who gets that whole almond is lucky, well, guess what? Everybody's a little lucky. So we're gonna toast the almonds here for about 5 minutes. Leave your oven on to 350 and pop that in just so the amaretto almond flavor really pops. Now that it's been about 45 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and let the bundt cake cool. As it's cooling, I like to pull the edges apart to make sure that we have an even slide out of this pan onto our cake plate here. And you know, I don't trim the bottom, which is, well, it's the top now, but it'll be the bottom soon. I don't trim it, you know, life is not perfect and neither are bundt cakes. This seems pretty good. It's pulling off the edges really nice. Now, this is the moment we all pray for. I'm gonna go ahead and have my mittens on because it's still hot. I'd like to leave the cake a little bit hot when I do this because it makes the glaze melt pretty well. Go ahead and flip it over. Just kind of leave that on top for a little bit. I like to kind of make sure that's all slided off. I think it had fell out of the bundt pan. Now let's lift this off. Oh yeah, that's great. Look at that, how good. Look how perfect. Okay, let's add our glaze. I like to just let this glaze run down everything and have those melting streaks all over it. You guys, this smells amazing. I wonder who that lucky person will be that gets that almond. All right, now that we have our glaze on, let's add our toasted almonds. I just like to sprinkle them on a little bit to the top and sides for display. And remember, everybody's a little lucky, right? Okay, now that we have that done, I'm just gonna go ahead and scoot these out of the way. Look how beautiful. Okay guys, the best part, sampling it. I'm gonna take a little sliver to see if it's good. Oh, that looks so beautiful. Oh, so good. You can tell this is so moist. Okay, let's give this a go. Got to get the best part, the top. This is so good. It's honestly one of the best bundt cakes I've ever had. Almond is such a tricky thing. Typically almond bundt cakes are very dry, but this one's delicious and very moist. This is one of the best things that you can bring with you to any New Year's celebration or anything. Everybody will love it. You'll be the hit of the party. Hope you have a blessed year and be lucky.